yakadul barqu yakhtafu. In yakadul there is alif madda. When fatha come before alif and alif has no sign on it, you stretch alif up to one alif. So here you have to stretch this alif up to one finger. Ya fatha ya, kaf alif fatha ka, yakadul barqu. Read ra with a thick voice because ra is sakin. We see fatah or zama on ra. If ra has a fatah zama on it or before ra sakina fatah or zama is present, then we read ra in a thick voice. So here you have to read in a thick voice barku, not barku. Barku. Read qaf also with a thick voice. This is one of the mustalia letter. There are 7 mustalia letters that are always read in Quran with a thick voice. They are kha, swad, dad, ta, za, ghain and qaf. Qaf zamaku, barqu, yakhtafu, ya kha fata yakh, ta fatha ta, yakhtafu. Also read this kha with the thick voice, ta with the thick voice. Both are mustalia letters and yes, don't stretch fatah or zama because we not stretch harakats, fatah, zama or kasra. Only we stretch letters of madda and maddats, khadi harakats. So this is alif madda. There is a fatah before alif, so stretch it here. Don't stretch any other haraka. Yakadul barqu yakhtafu absarahum kullama adaa. In absarahum, you have to show clearly movement in ba because ba is sakin. There are 5 letters qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. When they got a jazm sign on them, you clearly show movement in them. So you have to show clearly movement in ba. Absar. Do alif madda. When fatah come before alif, you stretch alif up to one alif. Read swad with a thick voice. This is mustalia letter. Mustalia letters are those letters which are always read in Quran with a thick voice. Absarahum. Read ra also with a thick voice. Keep it mind one thing. When the letter which is present before alif is a thick voice letter, then you read alif also as a thick voice letter in Quran. And when ra got a jazam, zabar pesh or ra has a jazam on it, and before ra sakina zabar or pesh come fatah zama come, then you read ra also with a thick voice. So here you have to read alif also with a thick voice, full mouth, and also you have to read ra also here in a thick voice. Absarahum. Read half from the last part of your throat and take a break. It means stop your voice and break your breath because twa is waqf mutlaq sign which indicates that there is better to pause. So pause here after twa. Here is also twa, here is also twa. So absarahum. Then read kullama. In kullama there is a mad. Put a stress on tashdid letter when W shaped tashdid sign comes on any letter. We read that letter 2 times. First we have to join lam with the kaf haraka. Kaf lam zamma kul. And secondly when we read lam, we will put a stress on lam and we will take a minor slight pause like lam zabarla kulla kullama. Do alif madda also. There is also zabar before alif and alif madda got a mud sign on it, so you have to stretch alif madda here up to 2 fingers because after mud there is a hamza. When alif contain any sign on it, then alif become hamza. That is why we are saying this is hamza. Kullama adaa. So dad is also one of the mustalia letter. 7 letters are mustalia: kha, swad, dad, ta, za, ghain and qaf. So dad is also mustalia letter. Read it with a thick tone and also you have to stretch alif madda here up to 2 fingers because after mad there is also hamza. So stretch both mads clearly and equally like absarahum kullama adaa. أضاء لهم مشوا. Look, when after meme sakina another meme come, we take meme sound into the nose and stretch up to one alif, meme sakina sound. This is called idgham shafawi. It means joining of two memes. There is a meme sakin and after meme sakin another meme is present. So you have to do gunna here. Lahum mashaw. Do wow lean when fatah come before wow sakin. You not stretch that wow. You not sudden pause even that wow. So don't stretch it. Don't read like this. Lahum mashaw. No. Don't stretch it. Lahum mashaw. Lahum mashaw. فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم. In fihi there is a ya madda. When kasra come before ya sakin, ya is sakin because of this jazm sign. When jazm comes on any letter, the letter becomes sakin. Before ya sakina, kasra come at the previous letter, then you stretch ya up to one finger. Fa ya kasra fi. Ha kasra hi. Read ha from the last part of your throat. Lam alif and qaf or note the sign of waqf. So don't stop here. Fihi wa idha. In wa idha. Read dal very softly. You have to touch your top of the tip of the tongue to the inner edges of top two front teeth while reading dal. Dal alif fatah mad ra. So this is alif madda. When fatah come before alif, you stretch alif up to one alif. But alif madda got a mad sign on it. And after mad, next letter is hamza. When alif got any sign like fatah, kasra, zama, jazm, any sign, alif become hamza. So when after mad hamza come, hamza is next letter, then you stretch mad up to two fingers. Wa idha allama. Read law very softly. Don't show movement in law voice like don't read like this. Al no. Allama. Allama. Lama. Allama. Alayhim. Don't stretch this ya because this is yalin. Read ain from the middle of your throat. Ain zabra. This is not hamza. Don't read it like this. Alay. No. Alay. Alay. Lam ya fatah lay. Okay. Very important rule, when fatah come before ya sakin, you not stretch that ya, not sudden pause that ya. But if zair come, kasra come before ya sakin, then you stretch that ya because this is ya madda and this is ya lean. So don't stretch here. Don't read like this. Alay no. Alayhim. Alayhim. Read ha from the last part of your throat. Qaf always we read in Quran with a thick voice. So Qaf is one of the Mustalia letter. Read it with a thick voice. Qaf alif fatah qa. Also there is another rule. When fatah come before alif and alif has no sign on it, then you stretch alif up to one finger because of fatah before it. This is called alif madda. Do alif madda here. Qaf alif fatah qa. Mim waw zama mu. So this is waw madda. When zamma come before waw sakina, you stretch waw also up to one finger. Waw is sakin and before waw sakina there is a zamma. If waw is not sakin, then it will be not waw madda. Okay. And toa is called waqf mutlaq, and it is better to take a pause on toa. It means when toa come, you stop your voice and also break your breath. So read alayhim qamu, then take a break, then read walau sha allahu. Waw fatha wa, lam waw fatha law. Low contain wow lean. Don't stretch wow here because when fatah come before wow sakina, you not stretch that wow. You not sudden pause that wow. But if zamma come before wow sakin, then you stretch that wow because that is wow madda. Sha Allahu. When after mad hamza come, then you stretch mad because of hamza after it up to two fingers. So stretch alif madda here up to two fingers. Sheen alif fatah mad sha. Walau Allahu. Read Lam of Allah with a thick voice, because when fatah come before Lam of Allah, you read Lam of Allah with a thick voice, and because of vertical fatah on it, khadi zabar, we will stretch Lam of Allah up to one finger, but don't stretch Zama on Ha. Walau Allahu qamu. Walau Allahu la. Lam fatha la, zal fatha za. Read zal very softly, because we read zal from the top of the tip of the tongue, touching the inner edges of top two front teeth. So read it very softly. La dhahaba. Read ha from the last part of your throat, but don't stretch fatha on lam zal haba. Don't stretch these fathas. La dhahaba, la dhahaba. In bisam'ihim wa absarihim. Don't stretch kasra below ba. Ba kasra bi, seen, mim, fatha, sam, ain kasra I. We read ain from the middle of the throat. So don't read it like hamza. Don't read it like this. Bisam ihim. No, this is not ihim. This is ain from our middle part. So you have to read it ain zera I. Bisam ihim. Read half from the last part of your throat. Read it very carefully, without stretching, without sudden pausing, because all of these are harakats, and we read harakats without stretching, without sudden pausing the voice. Bisam'ihim wa absarihim. In wa ab, you have to do movement in ba, because ba is sakin. There are 5 letters which are called kalkala letters. They are Qaf, Twa, Ba, Jim, and Dal. When they got a jazm sign on them, then you clearly show movement in them while reading. Wa abu saw. Read swad with a thick voice, because it's one of the mustaliya letter. Mustaliya letters are those letters which are always read in Quran with a thick voice. And do alif madda. When fatah come before alif, you stretch alif up to one finger. Swad, alif, fatha, saw, wa abu saw, wa abu saw, rihim. Read ra in a thin voice. When ra has a fatah or zamma on it, then you read ra in a thick voice. When ra contain a kasra below it, then you read ra in a thin voice. Read it with a thin voice. Absarihim. Read half from the last part of your throat. Bisam'ihim wa absarihim. Twa is, this is twa, and this is waqf sign. Waqf means to pause or stop. Where twa come, twa means it is better to pause here. That is why we are taking pause after reading wa absarihim. So it is better to take a pause on twa. So take pause. Stop here. Bisam'ihim wa absarihim. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. In Inna Allah, there is a noon mushaddad. When noon got a tashdid sign on it, this W shaped sign is called tashdid. When noon has a tashdid sign on it, then you take noon sound into the nose and stretch up to one alif. This is called noon mushaddad gunna. So do gunna in noon. It means take noon sound into the nose and stretch up to one alif. In Allah. Read Allah with a thick voice. We read Lam of Allah with a thick voice when fatah or zamma come before the letter which is present before Lam of Allah. So there is a noon, and noon has a fatah on it. That is why we are reading Lam of Allah with a thick voice. In Allah. Stretch vertical fatha, khadi zabar on Lam of Allah up to one finger. In Allah. Read half from the last part of your throat. In Allah. In Allah. Ala. Read ain from middle of your throat. Don't read it like hamza. Hamza we read from the last part of our throat. This is not Allah. Hamza zabar a. No, this is ain zabar a, ain fatha. So you have to read ain from the middle of your throat. Ain fatha, lam vertical fatha, la, ala. Ya is silent here because there is no haraka present on ya. So ya is silent here. Read this vertical fatha on lam only. Ala. Stretch it up to one finger because we stretch vertical fatha, vertical kasra, inverted zamma up to one finger. Ala kulli. We put a stress on tashdeed letter and we make it clearly while reading that we are reading tashdeed letter twice, two times. Kulli, kulli shay'in. Sheen ya fatha shay. This is ya lean. When ya has a jazm sign on it, ya is sakin, and before ya sakina fatha come, then you note stretch that ya, you note sudden pause even that ya. So this is fatha before ya sakina. Don't stretch it, don't sudden pause it. Sheen ya fatha shay. Shay. There is another rule which is called ikhfa. When two zabar, two zayd, two pesh come, we see the letter which is present after two zabar, two zayd, two pesh. This is qaf. So if the next letter is not from halaki letters are throat letters which are pronounced from our throat. They are hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. So when these letters comes after tanween, then we not take tanween sound into the nose, we not stretch even tanween. But if there is no halaki letter after tanween, two zabar, two z, two pesh, then you take tanween sound into the nose and you hide the voice of tanween and you stretch up to one finger. Shay'un, shay'un qadir. Read qaf with a thick voice. This is one of the mustalia letter, and dir contain ya madda. When kasra come before ya sakin, you stretch ya up to one finger, and we will make ra sakin here qadir, and read it with a thin voice because when ya sakina come before ra sakina, ra is sakin here because of this waqf sign, and before ra sakina ya sakina come, we read ra in a thin voice, read it with a thin voice, and also do waqf. This is waqf tam. It indicates the completion of a Quranic ayah. When it comes, we stop our voice, we break our breath. This is called pause or stop. So when waqf sign come, then you take a pause, and before waqf sign, if the last letter contain two pesh or two zer below it, then you make it sakin. It means only the voice of ra will be show here, but we will not read two pesh on ra. So this is qadir, qadir. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir.